we are on a broad reach approaching Rotterdam. Apparently there's a specific lane that we have to cross the traffic separation zone there because it's such a busy port. So we'll be radioing in there just to declare our intentions. But in our sights right now are two large tankers, a windmill farm, and a oil platform. So behind us is Rotterdam, and the plan right now is we need to, or what we just did was we called mass transit, that's spelled M-A-A-S, on channel 3, and they gave us permission to cross that busy traffic zone. It's one of the busiest ports in the world, and there's tankers coming out like every 2 minutes, so we want to make sure that we coordinate our crossing with the tankers that are coming out. So behind me you see that town of Rotterdam, and we are under sail, but we're being assisted by the motor. The reason for that is the current just happens to be setting into the river, so it's sort of drawing us in close to shore, which is tons of fun. So now we're just motoring against that current, sailing against the current, and looks like we're tracking quite well. Just sailing outside Rotterdam, having some enchiladas.
Traditional Dutch food.
Yeah.
Now,
Beam reach,
kind of weighted.
7.6 knots and 16 knots of wind, and we found a friend who's doing the same thing. Look at the size of this windmill farm. It just goes on, and the depth of it is just unbelievable. And then over here we're looking at the shores of Amsterdam. So here's the RCW buoy, and we are 4 miles from there, and we're coming from this direction. We plan on crossing the channel over here so we can see the white cliffs of Dover. You can see Beachy Head, which is way down here. Here's Dungeness, so we'll have a nice inland sail along the coast of England, and we're planning on heading over to, we'll be sailing into the Solent and then up to Southampton, up to the river Hamble, and that's where we'll dock for a little while and get some provisions. So we've got a nice easy motor here in the English Channel. Behind me you can see England. This is an anchorage outside of Calais, and Calais is that away. And then this is Cap Gris-Nez in France. So we're seeing France and we're seeing England. And our plans at this point have changed because the weather has been so god-awful, and we have more awful weather at the other end of the channel. We're going to go up the English side and enter the Solent, and then wind up in Hamble Marina, where I can get a port light fix and some minor things. But this will be a good break for me. It'll be a good place to do a crew change, and so I think we're all set there. What's nice about this side is I was really looking forward to seeing the white cliffs of Dover, and we'll see Beachy Head. So we'll see a lot of England's coast, which will be much more interesting than the sail over towards Cherbourg, which honestly you wouldn't see too much actually, and there's not a lot of places to call on if you do have some weather issues. So I think this is the most reasonable choice to struggle, because it does add a little bit of distance to the trip. I think we're stuck no matter what as far as time. The weather just is not cooperating, so we have to wait for a good weather window to get across Biscay, and that's just gonna have to wait. This is the French side. side. These are the White Cliffs of Dover. We'll get a better view soon. We just made our turn at that RCW buoy, and you can see on the chart there's purple dotted lines, and that's where we're headed to get across the channel. And gosh, if you look ahead with the drift, we should be headed right for those White Cliffs. We're going to get a beautiful view. There are a lot of ships in this English Channel. And the last guy that's going to be a problem is this one right here. This is the AIS system, and the way it works is it shows all these, it works through the VHF network, and it shows all these ships that you can tap on. It shows you your closest, so that says 20 meters. That's not good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow down. Well, we made it to the White Cliffs of Dover, and soon we'll be making a left turn going along the coast. Trying to do a quick deck walk, make sure everything's alright, make sure no pieces are missing. Anchor's still secured, fenders all good. Take a look at the bow wave. It's pretty cool. Really glassy out here. Still a little bit of a swell. We've acquired some wrinkles in our main from all the in and out and in and out, which is okay. It did its job. It did not jam. And back here, just laying out the lines to dry. Everything's just soaking wet in that locker. We never got a chance to dry the lines because we were coming and going in the rain, and it's just a mess. So this will be a good day for these to just dry out real nice. I'll flip them in about an hour, and then they should be good to go back in the locker before they get moldy. Full sail, English Channel, and that's Dungeness, home of the Dungeness crab, right? No Dinty more for this crew. We're going to do tuna noodle casserole with peas and Greek bouillon, and I've got baked potatoes, some bacon cooking in there. And this is the best part. We're going to be dining. We're going to be dining off Beachy Head. There's the man.
That's gorgeous, Tom.
Unbelievable. And there's that famous lighthouse. Apparently, the powers that be thought that painting that red stripe on the lighthouse was too expensive. It was going to cost $45,000. And according to Cunliffe's pilot book, the Save the Stripe Foundation raised the money, and they've kept that beauty going this whole time. So we've got about 15 minutes of longitude to go until we cross the prime meridian. We're rounding Beachy Head. We're cooking tuna noodle casserole. There's just a lot going on right now. I'm a little overwhelmed. Is it edible?
Very good.
Okay, good. Thank goodness.
Culinary denied.
Oh, thank goodness. Just get a few shots of this. Holy moly, you can really see the stripe now. I will never forget this.
No way. Spectacular.
So when you're doing your logs, it's you know, you put in different things. You put in you can put in your course, you can put in your distance and your log, and wind direction and everything, but you want to put in your coordinates here. And look at this. You just hit the Meridian. See, it just switched from east to west. So we just crossed the prime meridian. Well, it happened.
All right.
Here, crack them open. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Westward.
So we're looking straight ahead at Valmore Castle. That's the Isle of Wight there. This is Solent. And it's first thing in the morning.
That's great. Thanks very much for your help. Cheers then. Okay then, bye. Might be older even. That's Calshot, where they flew the first Spitfires. You would practically slap water on the board.
Yeah, yeah.
In the water, so we're right at the top of the tide.
The cruise up the Solent was absolutely awe-inspiring to be in such historic sailing grounds. We eventually found a mooring in the Hamble Marina, and I actually had the rig checked after the rough sail up the North Sea and in the Skagerrak and Kattegat. We ran into these folks. They were Team Shepherd, and they were embarking on their own big adventure. It is a windy day on the Solent. We are here at C14 dock, safe and sound. And it's the around the island race right now. So there's a load of boats out there racing in gale force conditions. We're hearing all sorts of calls to the Solent Coast Guard for various reasons, but they canceled the smaller classes, but I'm happy to be tucked away in here for the time being. Tim has not sailed with an American flag, but he was so kind to get us an American flag, and it's all rigged, and we're going to put it up right now. Nice English fish and chips and pints. After a very pleasant stay in Hamble, we said goodbye to Tim and Jeff. We saw a famous sailing ship and prepared Breezy for her next trip south, this time across the English Channel towards Brest, France.